Hi, everybody. It's Jess Hamill from Toronto proper. And today I'm so excited to welcome Shelley Malik. Shelley is from the Merchandise Maison, and she is a certified KonMari professional organizer. And in addition to that, she's also an incredibly wonderful human. So I'm so excited to welcome Shelley. Hi, Shelley.
Hi.
How are
Hi.
you today?
I'm so good. Thank you
Good.
for inviting me to come and talk to you and the people that follow you and look to you for your advice so I can give some of my advice on organizing and
Awesome.
kind of how to navigate these strange times that we're in.
I know. I think that so many people are spending that additional time in their spaces that they're not used to doing. You know, our lives are so busy and we're out of the home so much. So now that everybody's going on week 7, essentially, of being at home, I find people are really like realizing how much additional space, how much additional stuff they have that they're not using, and how not functional their spaces are.
I think it definitely is a time where we're more in touch with our spaces than we ever thought we could be. We're less in touch with our wardrobes and our shoes than we ever thought we could be. So it's kind of interesting because in the KonMari method, we always start with the clothing category. So we'll start with going through someone's closet and helping them purge through their clothing. It's almost what not to do right now, because as much as we're stuck in our houses, everything we own is now stuck in our house with us because there are no donation centers open. There is nowhere that we can drop our things off to. So if you're going to do a purge, you have to make sure that you have either space in a guest room or space in an attic or a basement or a garage where you can tuck those unwanted pieces away, because purging right now and decluttering and donating is kind of what we're stuck. You know, we just can't really sort of get through that process as we're used to. But good old-fashioned organizing is something that can still happen. Thank goodness for that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And don't get rid of all of your work attire just yet. I know we're all just relegated to sweatshirts, but hold on to that because that time will come.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yes. And make sure, put on your high heel shoes and walk around every once in a while so your feet don't forget you. But totally, yeah, no, don't hang on to that cupboard. You can sort of rotate the clothing within your closet or within the drawers of your dresser. That's something that I did for both my husband and I. Move the yoga pants to the top drawer, move the jeans to the bottom, things like that. Because nobody's wearing hard pants nowadays. Everything's soft in pajamas. So definitely kind of, rotating that wardrobe around a little bit just to make what you're wearing most often for these times easily accessible. Can kind of make your day-to-day life go a bit better. That's almost about as far as I would take my sort of clothing organization.
Right.
Other than addressing the winter stuff in the closet, because it's nice outside as much as we're not outside. It's nicer-ish.
Getting there.
Yeah, we're getting there.
What about the other zones of the house? Like if you're in a condo or in a house, I know it'll differ drastically, but say you're in a condo, what about like zoning and trying to create a workspace? We're all sort of on our laptops and trying to work from home. Like, what do you recommend to keep your workspace organized?
I think that it definitely condo to home does differ. Although I do think that there's ways that you can niche out that work environment no matter how big or how small your space is. In a condo, I find we either work on the sofa or we work on the kitchen island if we don't have a designated den or desk area. If you found yourself working in your kitchen, I find the best thing to do is to clear away the dishes every night before you go to bed. It's a little bit of housekeeping, but to kind of put the dinner time portion away every night before you shut the lights off. It makes it so that when you start your work day in the morning, it's not in the kitchen, you're now in your office. A little bit of breakfast routine is easy enough to tidy away, but when you put your laptop on the counter, it's on the counter not with dishes and things from the night before, but a clean work surface. Even something as simple as a little bit of greenery. We always kind of tend to put greenery in offices and on desks to kind of remind ourselves of life and freshness, and it can be an invigorating thing, just even that touch of green. Just put a little plant on your counter during the daytime hours and then take it away at night when it's time to prep dinner. Those little changes can make the island feel like an office.
Right, like having the office now.
Yeah, exactly. Another thing you can do if your space is a little larger, and this is what I've been doing because my husband's all day, every day in the closed door den on conference calls, loud talking on conference calls. So I close the door and I've been working on the dining room table because let's face it, there's no dinner parties happening. So the dining room table is now set up as my office and he works in the closed door office of the den. So you can kind of do those little changes to your space to kind of make it feel more like the daytime, nighttime routine. Same thing if you're working on the sofa. Tuck the blankets away into a basket, maybe off to the side when it's office hours, so you're less inclined to, lay back and Netflix and nap. But then, you'll sort of be more inclined to focus on the work of the day. So there's little subtle changes.
That's great advice.
Yeah.
So I've been in my space now for about a year, and you came into my life kind of fortuitously. But I thought I was organized when I met you. And, we joked about it. I had all these boxes inside of boxes and bags inside of bags. Like, I thought I was an organized person. And I didn't realize how disorganized and how not functional my space was until you came in and showed me a better way. And it was so fascinating to me because intuitively I would go to look for something and that's where you would have put it. Like all the skincare was in the correct order. Like I'm not a big cook, as you know, but all of the things I would use if I was preparing food was all perfectly organized and grouped together and labeled. And I didn't realize the benefit of living that way because I thought I was an organized person. So it's fascinating to me.
It is, and it's funny. I've had a lot of clients reach out to me since this began. Clients that have never cooked in their kitchens before, who are now like baking banana bread every other day, and it's just they're like, I need you. We kind of skimmed over the kitchen when I was in their spaces. Now they're like, I need you to come back because I realized I can actually cook and I want to cook. So it's hilarious. This whole new. All these kitchens that I never thought would see more than an Uber Eats bag are now getting some good loving. So it'll be fun.
I'm guilty of that for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Oh, that's so cute. So for people who are kind of, looking to get ideas about what they could do in their space, I was speaking with a client, and as we were talking about earlier, now showings aren't really allowed. So we were, going through a virtual tour of a property and talking about different ways to organize the space to make it more functional. But obviously, like I'm just speaking from my own personal experience. I'm not educated in the KonMari method or a professional organizer. So this coming month, for the month of May, we have a special offer for everyone listening.
Yeah, 100%. I think one of the things that makes somebody a good fit to be a professional organizer is the ability to understand a space, either from photographs or from a floor plan, or from a brief walkthrough on FaceTime. And that just sort of is something that I'm used to doing just from years of a background having to read floor plans and understand how a space is going to function in real life. So to have a 30-minute virtual tour of your space. And this would be something that we do for the month of May, free to everybody that follows Jessica, is something that I would love to extend. A 30-minute walkthrough of your space. Let's talk about what your future goals are for your space. Let's talk about what you need right now to get through your space. And like I said, that walkthrough, if it's your future space, of your floor plan or your virtual tour, that's great. If it's your existing space, how to make that work better for you now. That 30-minute time that we spend together, like how we're connecting right now, Jessica and I think it's going to take a lot of people really far.
Yeah.
Get us through that home stretch, hopefully, to outside freedom.
That's awesome and so generous. Thank you so much. I think that, once you start, it's really exciting. And once you see everything starting to come together, and I love that you give options too. I remember day one, you showed up and you had tons of different storage options. You came with an abundance of extra things to see what worked best. And then you would take back the things that didn't work. So you weren't pigeonholed into anything. There was a lot of collaborative decision-making, but like ultimately my personality type, I just wanted to defer to you. You're the expert. You tell me what works. But I know other people want a bit more control. So that's great that you're able to, to start that conversation online and figure out, what they can do to prepare to get ready for that process.
Absolutely. Because a lot of there's just places where I go to source those things that I bring into your home from, they're not the easiest things to get our hands on right now, right? Like shopping online is challenging, even, through some of these retailers that I would be at like every other day of a week. I miss IKEA very much, but I will be back. So, getting those items into homes to kind of make the space work easier. Again, that's something that maybe not be happening right now, but there are definitely ways that we can make our spaces function better. We can streamline the efficiency of those rooms that we're in more often than we ever imagined, and look towards the planning that we can then execute down the road. We'll get there.
Yeah, and can I just give a shout out to your bookshelf behind you, because this is aspirational of what we're all trying to achieve. But the funny thing about the way that Shelley works is it's not just for aesthetics. This is all functional. I can tell it's labeled from here.
Yeah.
Everything has a purpose. Everything that's in there is organized for a certain purpose and has a certain function. So it's not just fluffy stuff. Everything.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's maximizing your space and your items that you use and making it look beautiful all at the same time.
100%. I couldn't say it any better. That's so well said. I mean, I can make it look pretty, but I mean, if you're struggling with it every day, then it's not worth it. Function, has to take precedence, really. I can make anything look good, but if I can make it function and make it look really good, then that's the best.
I love it. And we'll leave it there. That is so perfect. Thank you so much, Shelley, for your time and your generous offer. You are amazing. And I can't wait to see you in person again.
I know.
Start organizing a new space soon. I miss you too.
Yeah. Oh, love it.
Thank you so much for your time. And
thank you.